Aye.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and move on. We have vice chair, and I'd make a motion to nominate Callie Streeter.
I'll second that.
Don seconds that. Any further nominations? Seeing none. All in favor of Callie, vote aye.
Aye.
All right, so let's move ahead. First thing we want to do, schedule of our meetings. We've had first and third Monday at 6. Any reason to change that? All right, so we'll go ahead and keep that. Authorized warrant signers. There's 2 of us, or it needs to be 2 people. I would say, Don, you're always in town.
Yeah.
Mike, are you in town a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta bring the girls to school most days, so.
So probably the 2 best would be you 2.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have Don, and we'll go ahead and vote on all this once we get down at the end. Don and Mike. And liaisons, we have the road crew. I'll continue to do that, but Mike, why don't you join me when we meet with them, those folks?
Okay.
And I know, Don, you meet with them as well. So with all these liaisons, by the way, I mean, there's no strict one select board member can't meet with them or interact with them. It's just, it gives them a point person in case they need one. Fire department.
Who did that last?
I think Callie.
Callie, did you do that one?
Yep.
But there's always room for 2. Robin, do you want to be on there as well?
Yeah, sure.
All right, why don't you do that? And because Callie's going to be taking on some more responsibilities and other things, so that way it might give you an opportunity there. Historical Society.
I had them last time. That worked out okay.
Yeah, I think that was good. All right, we'll go ahead and there. Don, you're in the Town Hall. Rep Committee. I think, Mike, how's that sound for you?
Yeah, I can hang out with Chris.
Yeah, that's a hard, that's a big pull.
Yeah.
Who was on that last year? Is that John? Yeah, I thought it was, yeah.
I'll be second, just hang out with Chris too.
Oh, jeez. Maybe I want to be there. Yeah. Sounds like it'd be fun.
You're all 4 Mondays.
Town clerk treasurer. Why don't Callie and I do that? Callie's got a lot of experience in that world over in Berlin. And I don't, but we'd like to talk with them. Animal control.
I did that and zoning before. I'll take those 2 again if you want.
Perfect. I got those 2. The
Carol anyway.
How about Don with the HUUS Harvard reps? Mike, how about you helping with that? Or
Okay.
I can too.
Okay.
I've got a bone to pick with them, so.
oh, good.
You just wanted to take it along.
Which one? Which one are you saying?
The HUSD rep.
Oh,
Sounds like they may be here tonight, so you may have an opportunity to nod.
Well, you can take-
if you will.
Fabulous.
if you want to take the role, you can take that.
All right. Well, yeah, Don does a lot. It's just actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Callie and Mike, you both have kids in school too, so that's probably good.
Yeah.
Tax collector, I'll go ahead and.
What do you really have to do with that? Just meet with Craig every once in a while or something?
Not really.
Oh, they do.
I think Craig bought us a beer at the.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what, as far as that's gone. Stormwater management, MRGP.
With the road crew stuff, I think, and stuff, but.
All right, so why don't we just put that with the road crew? Local service committee.
I don't even know what that is.
I haven't met in a while.
Sasha, why don't you be the liaison for that?
Okay.
No, I don't know what it does.
And Sasha, you can do Morefest as well. That's it. So I would move to accept all the liaison appointments, schedule the meetings, and authorize warrant signers.
Second.
Second, Callie. Any further discussion on those? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. So we can move on.
So when do we do all those other positions? Next, at the next meeting, the ones, which one of those? you know, the whole list of
Yeah, we'll,
Clarence and,
yeah, we'll go ahead and wait on that and do that at subsequent meeting. Yeah.
I was gonna bring the list with me, like Joyce Manchester, who was the V-Trans rep, but she's considering stepping down. I was gonna make a recommendation. Okay, we'll leave
Yeah,
it at
just do
that.
that, yeah. All right, so here we are. So we're at public comment now. Why don't we go ahead and do that? So is there anyone here with public comments? Travis Blood.
I wonder some clarification on the old business pending where it says ATV on town roads. I don't really see anywhere where there's a definition for town roads, and I was just kind of curious what you mean by town roads.
Should we probably put highways there? Would probably be the proper term. Yeah. How's that, Travis?
Yep. All right, and I'd also like to thank Don and his team for the town meeting. It seemed like there was a huge turnout. It was very, very well done. There were a few mistakes combining some of the things together, but it looks like something we can hopefully move forward next year. It went quite well.
Yeah, we'll have a follow-up meeting soon. About, you know, things to
There's a
find.
lot of people there.
Yeah, that was good.
The turnout really was amazing.
I mean, the food was good afterwards as well, for people who stayed around.
Yes, it was well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Travis. Pardon me. Who's next for public comment?
Hi everyone, Peter Landella. Here to talk about the school. I'm one of the former reps to the HUSD board, and I also used to be a rep to the now defunct Moretown School board before the district merger. And some of you have been on the select board for a while. Unfortunately, I've heard me come and give this kind of same spiel. But in my opinion, there's a real sense of urgency that we need to have because the subcommittee of the HUSD board that is looking at kind of building use and future planning is presenting all their work that they've done with consultant Trix Collins over the last couple of months. And other than the status quo plan, which calls for it being similar and doing some bonding work to repair deferred maintenance at various buildings, every other plan on their list calls for the closure of our school. And so I think that's horrible. I love our school. I think scores of our children, past, present, and hopefully future, get to go to that beautiful school and just get to be children here in town. I think many people live and move to this town because we have a school like we do. And we know from research that school closures kill towns. New families don't move in. It becomes a bedroom community for Montpelier and Burlington and possibly the ski resorts and things like that. So I'd love to urge the select board to get very involved. I just heard some of you committing to work with our current HUSD reps. So I think that that's very important. Also potentially talking to this school board this Wednesday night at their meeting when those plans are going to be presented, writing a letter, whatever you all decide you need to do. But I think that the messaging from the board seems to be that we need to do something like this ourselves, or else Governor Scott, the legislature, some future regional board, based on some of the plans that are being talked about in Montpelier, are going to do it for us. And I think that's a very poor decision. And I don't think we should ever make that choice as a larger district to consolidate our schools and close our schools. And so I'm really worried about where that conversation is going from them. And I'm also worried about the fact that they are messaging in what I think is quite a condescending way, saying, oh, no, you know what, that's not really happening, it's not there yet. Today they sent out a message calling it a rumor. And when you have all of your plans call for the closure of our school other than status quo, that's not a rumor to me. That seems like a lot of work has been done, and that seems like they're pretty far in the process, and they have not engaged our community. And from my experience being on the board years back, I would say that about 90% of this town adamantly wants to keep this school open and wants to weigh that cost-benefit analysis. Obviously, yes, taxes are high, but when you consider saving $100 or $200 a year versus keeping our beautiful school, I really think it's about 90% of people that I met during that time when I was on the board that would say, please keep our school. And for some reason, this board doesn't seem to understand that yet again, so here we are. So anyway, I'll stop. I could keep rehashing everything that happened years past, but I think the main message I want to get across tonight is that I would urge all of you as a select board to please stay involved, please communicate with that board, and please represent our voice to make sure that we can protect our school. The one last layer that is connected but not so intricately with the current presentation is I also just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can, and I know you've already been in these conversations trying to figure out what's going on the hill up behind to see if we can explore all avenues to make sure that the school doesn't flood from the back again. The river rising to a catastrophic level, none of us obviously have control about that. That could happen someday, and if nature takes its course, so be it. But I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to try to ensure that we are exploring legal avenues and what have you to make sure that a preventable event doesn't happen again. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Just so you're aware, we have the Building Use and Vision Committee, coming in this afternoon or later today to give us a presentation what's going on. So really interesting to hear. Thank you. Is there anyone else that here for public comment?
Related to what, my name is Louisa Wilson, and related to what same issue as Peter was referring to. I may not have a perfect understanding of every facet of this very complicated matter with school consolidation plans. My understanding is that when it comes to Moretown School, its capacity for expansion is limited because of wastewater septic issues. And I know that Moretown has had the Clean Water subcommittee that's been investigating wastewater. And I would just hope that can maybe be reinvigorated to look at capacity for expansion, not just for the school, but for the village in general.
Anyone else? Before we move on to the Class 4 discussion?
One quick comment.
Jeff.
Jeff Hogan. And I was wondering about if there was any development on the town forest land off of Moretown Mountain and access to get into it. It is somewhat landlocked by private landowners.
Yeah, it's actually not and I could give you my contact and send you the plan map, but everyone parks at the cemetery, I think on Carl's land, and like the trail's kitty corner to that. But like from where that trail enters, there's, I don't know, several hundred feet of road frontage on South Hill Road. So where there's a stone, like the trail goes in and the stone wall is right on the right, like that's the beginning of the town forest. So there's no issue accessing the land through private land.
Gotcha, okay. I thought there was other town forest land as if you're heading towards north.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a parcel that is landlocked out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Landlocked.
Okay, well,
There's a legal trail 17 that attaches to it.
right.
Okay, so there is something that you can access to get to there.
Yeah, you definitely can. It's about 147 acres.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. I'll have to learn more about that access point and Trail 17.
Yes.
V-Trans maps, you should be able to pinpoint where that is.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but yeah, if you email me too, I can send you some shapes for that or whatever.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We have the Class 4 and legal trails discussion. We have several of the committee members here, so if you guys want to move forward so we can...
I'm good.
And then Callie's going to lead the discussion here. We'll just say this is something that had been worked on quite a bit last year, and then because of the flood, we got pushed back. And also Paula has, you guys probably know, is not able to make it tonight because of flight issues. But if you guys want to go around, maybe introduce yourself just so everyone knows who is on the committee and the TV can get you.
Oh, sorry, I'm John Schmelzer, I'm on the committee, I'm also on the planning commission.
I'm Craig Ashko, on the committee and also on the development review board.
Colin Wall, just on the committee.
Chris Stevenson on the committee and also the chair of the rec committee.
I'm sorry, this committee.
Okay, Callie Streeter, Vice Chair of the Select Board, Vice Chair of the Class 4 Highway Legal Trail Committee. So what we did over the summer is basically looked at what the existing Class 4 policy was and looked at changing some things to make it easier for people coming in, looking at property. A lot of people have been purchasing property off of Class 4 roads and not necessarily understanding based on the policy what was to be done on roads or where they were. So one of the first changes that we did is added the map that you can, if you pull up the policy, you can click on it, it will take you to the highway map. So you can see where everything is. We went through and changed where it said Class 4 road to highway. We did add a Class 4 legal trail advisory team. That was a recommendation from the committee, basically consisting of the road foreman, select board member, and select board designee who has to be a Moretown resident. And they would basically work together to look at potential classifications, changes of classifications, and kind of where things are at with those roads.
And so that's something, if we adopt these policy changes, that we would be doing. Okay.
Yes.
We replaced a structure that had been defined that wasn't being leveraged. So this sort of like fills that void.
For example, it said that the group would include the road commissioner, which we don't have.
Right.
So we wanted to update it, and then at the, we put the final sentence there in that new paragraph, for the final composition of the team will be at the discretion of the select board. So that gives you some flexibility if there's another type of format that you think would be more helpful.
Like the fourth person.
Right, right.
Very good.
We looked at classifications, talking about kind of the standpoint from the committee was that for the select board to discourage classification changes, discontinuation, and or upgrading of Class 4 highways and legal trails. Landowners can request a classification change. So that is something they can petition the board for. The previous policy was a little confusing with classifications and groups, because you have A and B Class 4 roads. So in the next policy, we did group designations explaining how that process was done, review maintenance, defining A and B, with A highways determined to be of sufficiently good condition the town equipment will not be damaged if used on the roads, and group B, these are determined to be not gradable by town equipment. So basically those are changes. They can be requested changes. You can go from B to an A and A to a B at any time throughout the year. And this would be, any classification changes there would be a joint decision between the advisory team and then approved by the select board.
Well, that doesn't have to be involved with that Title 19 if you just change the classification? Okay.
Right. 'Cause
There is a definition under Title 19 that says you have to go through a process in order to reclassify.
Right, And what we're talking about right now is just a group.
Just the group.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right, which doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no state statute.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So the next section is the classification changes, which would be a new piece that we would be recommending, which these changes should be done in accordance with Title 19, with consideration to the town plan. Basically going through different pieces that we would look at and changing these. Any residents wishing to have a road reclassified may apply by petition to the select board. The select board may require that the cost of the upgrade be assigned to the petitioners,
So that's, okay.
which is, I think, what we were doing previously, but this just moves it around into a clearer spot.
Right.
The next part is maintenance, which came in basically just as redefining kind of how that looked. So one addition we had there was the town shall not provide any summer maintenance of class 4A highways except as required by necessity and the public good and convenience of the inhabitants, such as bridges, culverts, and ditches, to control erosion of roads or runoff to adjacent property and the removal of obstructions. The town shall not provide any maintenance or upkeep on legal trails or class 4B highways. The town shall not provide any winter maintenance on class 4A, class 4B highways, nor legal trails, including but not limited to snow plowing and the pushing back of snowbanks. It defines regular maintenance, which is what was in the existing policy.
Should be engraving that.
The other piece that we recommended adding is that a town road maintenance permit is required for private persons wishing authorization to perform maintenance for work on a town highway.
Where are you now? I'm sorry, lost you.
Still on maintenance, almost all the way down at the bottom,
Oh, okay.
above control.
Yeah.
So this is for
Yeah,
plowing.
exactly. Yeah.
So any winter plowing, any repairs that someone is wanting to do. The written request shall contain drawings and descriptions of work to be done, and that permission for repair, maintenance, improvement, or restoration shall not be unreasonably withheld by the select board.
So thanks to Chris, we looked up the permit form, and just to be clear, that's an annual permit that needs to be renewed each year.
Okay.
Yep.
And that would be defined on the permit, correct?
Which I think captures Sasha's front porch forum post about snow removal on class 4 roads that went out in January. So I don't think it's overly clear here. There might be room to add another sentence, but if you're gonna start plowing snow off the class 4 roads, you have to fill out that form every year to get permission. That's how I understood it.
Right, yeah.
And it's basically just to cover the town, because these are still town roads,
Liability.
so that we know who is doing what. Yes, if then somebody does work that is not up to
Probably damage.
standards, yeah.
So
that-
Chris, pardon me, Kelly, you're suggesting we add, this is on an annual basis then in there?
I think we both didn't want to duplicate information here and on other sources. But I do wonder, because it went out in FBF, if it might surface here, it might make it more clear. So we kept balancing that, duplicate information versus making it clear and accessible. So it's in the, if you were to click into that PDF, it does say annual in there if you keep reading everywhere.
So that's probably all right at this point.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know what issues came out of that triggered the FBF post. If we've had issues that may,
Lots of issues.
then I think we should surface it more.
Okay. It wouldn't hurt to throw in the word annually, would it?
Yeah.
Into that thing.
All right.
And you could also state it, which includes plowing. That could make it
Correct.
very clear.
So how would that read? To perform maintenance or plowing or maintenance work or plowing on a town highway. So you throw in 3 words.
Yeah.
A road mark is required annually, right before authorization to perform maintenance work or plowing on a town highway.
And then annually was, did you get that worded?
Annually is after the word required. It's like
One of the discussion points we had was about when people purchase a piece of land, information is not necessarily clear in the deed or the title searches, so it's sort of a little bit on the town to educate realtors and potential buyers and maybe sellers.
on the actual classification of the road where
On
they're
the fact
purchasing, you mean? Oh.
that you're buying this house homeowner has been filling out a permit every year to be able to do certain things. It's not implied to be able to do it without an annual permit approval.
Chris, I'll slightly disagree with you on there. I think it is the responsibility of the property owner and the attorneys to find that information, talk to the town. But for us to make it as clear as possible, I think that's helpful.
There's a new act passed on that, for realtors have to disclose that.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of ties back up a little farther into regular maintenance and really making sure that that was clear about what the town would do.
Yeah.
Because I think there's definitely been confusion in the past about landowners who have come in and said, hey, if we purchase material, can the town haul it in and, just bring it in for us? Which we have in the past agreed to do. So, someone wants to get rid of their house, they say, oh yeah, the town does X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we don't do it.
And that we don't
Then
do.
we change it or we don't do it.
Yeah,
Right.
or it's not something that's
Right.
anywhere. So,
Well, we will be getting to this, something like that, having the information, the changes you recommend to the webpage.
That'll help.
That'll help too.
Yeah.
People, hopefully know to go look and.
We can talk to Cheryl about that, so we can
Yeah.
how it's, yeah.
Because we are working on changing the website.
Yeah.
everything in control basically stayed the same. Enforcement of vehicle weights, restriction of wheeled vehicle use, requirement of temporary permits, all of that stayed the same. Right-of-way access was a new piece the committee recommended. Select board shall control access into the road right-of-way for the installation or repair of utilities and for access of driveways, entrances, and approaches per Title 19. And so that's added in there. Another section was posting that we recommended to be added in. No highway of any class may be intentionally closed by a gate or other obstruction except upon approval by the select board, which is part of Title 19 as well. The select board may post a road in accordance with that, and they may post a highway for purposes of preserving the integrity of the road. It's recommended to be reviewed every year. The other piece was for disaster emergency maintenance in case of a disaster or any unforeseen emergency event. Instead of saying the town will restore a class 4 highway to its pre-disaster condition, we said the town may to its pre-disaster use. Because some of these roads, we may not know what the pre-disaster condition was.
Or have the money to redo it.
Right.
Or the bill, so like the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see anything about trails under that provision?
It includes trails.
Well, trails says it will, there's actually a definition in there, it says it will not will not restore, it actually says that.
Doesn't say trails.
We
Yeah.
reviewed it, I think, from the red line.
I don't have the exact wording.
I'm trying to find it. It did say, section 7 did say, in case of a disaster or unforeseen emergency event, the town will restore a class 4 road or trail to its pre-disaster condition. So the change essentially strikes trail and leaves it as class 4. And clarifies not shall but may. So
I would defer that that's not the way title is written. Just the wording that you have in
the new one.
Excuse me?
The new language proposed?
there. Yes. I think it's 311.
So you're suggesting trail would be added back in there?
trail has a different language than what you're out there. It's about safety. Well, we're not in here to rewrite it all right now, of course.
All right.
It is kind of my team,
So go ahead, Kelly.
And then the last one was use of free or donated materials. Free or donated road materials may be delivered, distributed at the road foreman's discretion after the approval of the select board. This just replaces the existing language, which was the road foreman may haul and place free or donated materials onto class 4 roads and or legal trails as he sees fit after the approval of the select board.
Very good.
And then the last piece was talking about the website and adding a link where people could go and look at this right up on the front page so that anyone coming in could see it.
So we're liking this. Carol still here? Yeah, she is. Hey, Carol. This is Carol Chamberlain. She's our zoning administrator, also our new website person guru. So Carol, we'll go ahead and give you this information, but she plans on, and she has given us some indication already about what she's doing with the website. She's given us a couple samples of things to look forward to. I think going forward, these type of things will be much easier for folks to get on, find, not have to hunt all over the place. I mean, that's what our task to her was or is. And Carol, you want to share what you're doing on that?
What I'm doing on that?
Well, how you started, just a little bit of, so people have a little confidence that it's moving forward.
I'm just looking into other towns and seeing some formats that websites are presenting, and hopefully going to move ours towards something a little more user-friendly, a little more phone-friendly, and be able to get things like this more front and center so people can find them. I have a lot of other things on my plate, so don't anticipate seeing a new website.
Quite, yes.
For spring is mostly over, but we'll get there.
Right, yeah, I was just gonna say, if there are other, if you have ideas, folks, as you're using it, or committees, if you can forward that on to Carol. If you have one person in your committee that's a committee doing it, there's just not getting too many things, but I think she'd probably appreciate any good ideas, right, Carol?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ideas are great.
All right. All right, Kelly, anything else with that?
I don't have anything else.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Page 3.
Deb Sargent, this will.
1, 2, is about the 4th paragraph down, where it says regular maintenance is defined as shaping and grading yearly or every other year. What is that referring to?
That's referring to maintenance of the class 4 highways.
So it's like that's defining the definition, but then it's saying we're not going to do any summer maintenance on class 4A except as required by necessity. But then you say, but we're doing regular maintenance, it's defined as shaping, regular maintenance is we're gonna grade the roads, but up top it says, we're not doing anything except by necessity. So I think that confuses me.
That means they're doing it in the spring and fall, yep.
What's that?
That means they're just doing it in the spring and fall. No kidding.
I just think it's like, what is that referring to?
Is that just?
Are we doing regular maintenance on class 4A roads? Are we doing regular maintenance on class 4B roads? But we're not doing anything on 4B?
Well, is it just, I'm just asking a question to follow up, like, is it just defining what maintenance is to some degree? So there's some.
It's regular maintenance, and I think that line was in the old policy.
Right.
So that's, I'm just kind of worried, is this kind of an orphan here?
Yeah.
Or?
It's almost like it should go up under the definition of maintenance on the previous page. Like 2 spaces up. Because it says, it defines what maintenance is there, and then it says preserve through basic maintenance, limited the budgeted amount, and then maybe it should say the regular maintenance is defined as the shaping and the grading. And then the exclusions about not providing maintenance would follow under that. That would seem clearer to me
Or
too.
instead of regular,
Does that seem
just
clearer to you?
change
Or
to
just
summer.
Somehow reconcile summer maintenance for class 4 highways, except that is required, there are no summer maintenance, except as required by necessity. And reconcile required by necessity, or that actually seems nebulous. I have a different idea of what's necessity.
They shall not provide any summer.
Or
maintenance.
do you want to say, except for regular maintenance as defined by shaping and grading road or every other year?
And I just point out the first sentence of the whole document sort of suggests that we do regular maintenance. It's the goal of the town to provide regular to semi-regular maintenance on all class 4 highways. So that's a.
So
That
that's
is
also kind of contradictory too. So it's like, we're gonna do regular and semi-regular maintenance on all class 4 highways, but then later it says, well, we're not gonna do anything on
Right.
B.
Oh,
And then it says we're gonna do by necessity, and then it says, well, here's what regular is. I think that all has to be somehow reconciled. Or
No, I agree with you, Doug.
Sasha over there.
Yeah. No,
All kinds of-
the clearer the better. That's why we're trying to
yeah.
get away from the headaches. You know, someone gets it, someone doesn't, and it's inconsistent.
Yeah, because if you read the first thing, you'd be like, okay, yeah, where's my maintenance? You know,
Well, this is part of the process.
Well, the first sentence thing is the goal, right?
oh.
So
that's
it's
true,
like
yeah.
a dream or an aspiration, kind of, right? I'm not just trying to like, so yeah, I guess it could, right, if you miss the one word or whatever, and I'm not disagreeing with you, right, that it can
Yeah.
seem, and I didn't write this, but,
I'm
you
thinking
know,
of it
it
as
could
like
seem like
people
contradictory.
reading this, especially
Right.
if they're not on a class 4, but
Right.
other people on class 4.
Right.
And different people are gonna interpret it different ways across town possibly.
Right, yeah.
Depending on what they focus on.
No, I think that needs to be cleared up as well. I think we could probably push that back to the committee for some more discussion on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking that we can do is, it is clunky, but I think if you read it, you know, I look at the, provide any summer maintenance would be anything above and beyond, you know, what they consider regular maintenance. I think that's what they're trying to say, but it's not really that clear.
But yeah,
So that's one thing that we could move the regular maintenance paragraph up and then just provide some clarity on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Put it up with the necessity thing and word it the way that it's clearer.
Yeah.
if you want that layperson coming into town that know nothing about, you know, town, how it works, to be able to have a reasonable.
Yeah, I would change the goal section, the goal, like you
Right.
said, it's aspirational.
Right, yeah.
I think that this discontinuity is the necessity part of it.
so, I guess how do you wanna, what is the wish of the select board?
I think just kind of what we just discussed here, I Christie understand, maybe running that, but just kind of combine, I think what Deb said, move up the regular maintenance to pages.
Sort of clarify.
And just clarify.
Sounds like we need to meet again and discuss it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, I mean, that's what I'm hearing, that's fine. And so, what I'm hearing is we got the maintenance section that you want us to clean up a bit to provide more clarity. And then we had some other minor, changes that we made, or that we proposed to make.
With the snow,
The same.
the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is all in the same section anyway, actually. It's all on the same page.
Changes, can you put it in another color?
Yeah.
Yeah, do blue or, whatever, red.
Yeah.
Take whatever color you find.
So does the opening sentence then has to be caressed a little as well?
I think the opening sentence is okay.
Are you talking about the maintenance section, Don?
Well, just it's the goal.
Goal.
Oh, no, I think the goal is fine.
Okay.
Well, can I ask something else? I said to leave it the way it is, but it's regular to semi-regular maintenance on all class 4 highways. But then on page 3, we're saying we're not gonna do anything on these.
Well, again, as Chris stated, it is one is our goal and one is our requirement or obligation.
If you're gonna say that's not a requirement, then we shouldn't have it as a goal. If you're clearly stating we're not gonna do that, and that's the requirement, then you shouldn't have your goal contracted. So,
Well, if a resident can request a classification change or a group change, that can change their maintenance schedule.
I feel like it says like on the second line of the first page, that are in sufficiently good condition, right? And so I'm not an attorney, but you get into legalese, but like
that covers you? Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I think like, is it maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, Deb. Like maybe the whole thing, maybe that whole top section needs to be reworded to make it just super clear for the town and for someone on the other, like a landowner on the other side. Yes, so maybe you're completely right. I don't know.
I would say under groups that it's pretty well defined that class 4B, our town equipment will be damaged and therefore will not be used on that grouping of roads.
That's what I thought, don't change it, because yeah, it says later.
But I think that it does, as you go through those groupings and classifications, it does clearly define that those roads will not receive that maintenance because the equipment will be damaged.
So they're not sufficiently good, in sufficiently good condition.
Well, that's
Correct. Well, and that's defined in the beginning as well as later in the document.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much change needs to be put forth into that, because it does get defined within the policy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
What's the committee think, the rest of the committee?
They're glad to.
Are you expecting me to speak?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, this is
I didn't. I had difficulty getting into the meeting.
There's challenges with these types of policies. You can continually make revisions, but in my mind, I think we can make it a little bit clearer. I don't think it would take us very long to do it.
Yeah.
And so we can just go in there, and it sounds what I'm hearing, the most important thing is to clarify that maintenance section. And I think that's something that we can do.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to Paula, figure out how to make sure we reconvene following the open meeting laws and get back and try to get to you in the next month or so.
Pretty good. I think that's doable. Here, we would like to see as soon as possible so we can put it to bed, but I think it's a really good document. You guys have done a good job.
Yeah, that's great.
And thank you for the input, pointing things out. I think that's why these meetings are important. So thanks, and we look forward to an update sometime soon.
I apologize on behalf of the committee that it took us a while to have this meeting, but there was a lot of things that, it was right around flood time, if you remember, so a lot of things that came up. So thanks for being, working with us.
Your patience with us certainly has been top of mind, but so have a lot of other things. So, all right. So the next agenda item we have. Thank you, Craig. Thanks everyone.
You putting that copy of that?
What's that?
You get a copy of that proposed? Thanks.
Yeah, I have it on my computer too.
Thanks for all right, so we, Kelly, were you going to say? I thought you were.
Oh, no, I'm moving right along.
All right, yes, we are. So we have, is the building use and visiting, I can't even say the word, vision,
Envision. You need an acronym.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, they have one.
Are they here? Is this committee here?
Hi.
Hey.
Sorry, just I'm Erin Brady.
Eric, yeah. Come on up here.
Please, we're really acquainted.
Have a seat there.
All right, thank you. I know it says building use and visioning committee, but it's really so much more. It's really about education. So what's happening locally, and then what is happening at a statewide level. And I know so many of you are in tune to it, but I just want to take this opportunity to speak a little bit more about it And then I know Louisa is here as well, and she may want to add more after I do. Also, I'm not great at public speaking, so this might be a good laugh for you all, but I'm just gonna read through my little spiel here and try my best to keep it as clear and concise as possible, if you don't mind.
Is that what you sent us?
Yes. So
Everything
it's-
else? So I can probably bring it up.
Yep, Building Use and Visioning Committee, so what's happening locally with them, with their, a work group or subcommittee, with the HUSD, Harwood Unified Union School District. And then I'd like to talk about how that connects with what's happening at a greater level. So what you see there is the presentation that they're going to give, the start of the presentation that they will give on Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. at the school board. So that's what you see there. So I think after I talk maybe more, we'll so just wanted to thank you all for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. In honor of everybody's time, I'm going to keep it as clear and concise as possible. And I just hope to talk briefly about 4 items while I'm here. Locally, what's happening with the Building Use and Visioning Committee. Statewide education reform, which connects to it. And lastly, just resources for everyone so you can do your own information and gathering. I'm here because right now it's important for everyone to pay attention and be engaged in conversations about the future of public education and the impacts this may have on our communities. There's a lot of information being shared right now, a lot, and the potential changes for our schools and public education. It's important for everybody to tune in and take advantage of the upcoming opportunities to engage in conversation and ask helpful questions. So locally, the Building Use and Visioning Committee, one of the 11 work groups or subcommittees, has been working hard to respond to the many requests from the community to explore cost savings. As we all remember last year, it took several times to pass the budget, right? In addition, this work group is trying to get ahead of Governor Scott's consolidation plan from 119 districts to 5 regional districts statewide. As a result, this work group has proactively put together a presentation for the school board to be shared on, like I said, Wednesday, 3/19 at 6 p.m. in the Harwood Library. This presentation will explain how this work group went from 15 planning options to 6 recommendations for consideration to share with the board. The goal is for the school board to select up to 3 options for their further study. I'm not saying that's going to happen that night, I'm saying that's the eventual goal. Like if you look through the presentation, you can see it. If you haven't had the chance to watch these meetings or review the presentation from this work group, you should check them out. The school board meeting on Wednesday is also a good opportunity to listen and hear about what's happening. I strongly encourage people to access this information and ask questions. Lastly, on this, yes, it is true that FES and MES are only an option 0 or O with the bond status quo, which I believe is slide 28, but don't quiz me on that, and not in the other planning options for consideration that will be presented. With this being said, this work is early on, nothing is set in stone, and there are many more steps like facility evaluations of all schools that could reveal additional options. Rumors like the one that has recently come to my attention about FES and MES being closed in the 26-27 school year are unrealistic and unhelpful at this point. So again, I encourage everyone to read and listen and ask questions about the resources that are publicly available. The next topic that I just want to talk about real quick is statewide education reform and how this connects. Representatives Dara Torrey and Candace White shared a flyer about the 2025 town meeting report. The flyer notes that education reform is a top priority in Vermont. Highlights of Governor Scott's education reform proposal are included as well. Addition to consolidating from 119 school districts to 5 large regional districts, the proposal includes moving away from local budgets, setting a foundation formula per pupil spending, shifting school closure decisions to a statewide assessment, establishing minimum class sizes and standardized graduation requirements. This could have a huge impact not only on our schools but on our communities as as well, and that's mainly why I'm here. We need to tune in and be a part of the process. We need to get the greater issues of statewide consolidation, healthcare costs, and education funding. Good news, our reps want to hear from us. Please consider attending Monday, March 24th education reform discussion at Harwood High School from 6 to 8. Our dormitory will be at the Moretown General Store tomorrow, 8 to 9, where you can hear about what's going on in this legislative session and share your priorities and concerns. Lastly, resources for everyone. So check out that Building Use and Visioning Committee work, the HUSD work group and subcommittee. They have agenda, minutes, and videos of their meetings. Attend the school board meeting on 3/19 to hear the presentation. Macon Phillips has a resource with information regarding Harwood schools and how they may reorganize. It does a great job of bringing the information from the state, what's happening locally, and the greater issues like statewide healthcare costs, and attend the education reform discussion with our state reps. Now's the time to listen, ask questions, and participate in the process. Don't let this happen to you. Take advantage of these meetings and this information for the economic well-being of our communities and for each child to have the opportunity to a quality and sustainable public education. I can share those resources that I just mentioned. I thank you for your time for letting me do my spiel. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to take questions or hand it off to Louisa.
I think first you're a good public speaker. So.
Oh, thanks.
Don't worry about that.
I just want to keep it short for you guys.
Good. Any comments or questions to Erin here while we?
Yeah, so I spoke a little bit earlier during public comment, I didn't hear, I think people
No, I just wanted to clarify, it seemed like, Tom, you were saying that you felt like the committee was actually.
Yeah, that was on my agenda. That's why when you would talk, that's.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I had sent to Don and then it got forwarded. I was wondering if we could talk about what the Building Use and Vision Committee is doing. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I think it was a little miscommunication. That's how it got put on my agenda. That's.
Yeah, no, I just want everyone to clarify.
No.
Great, all sorts of awesome information, and then what I said to you is like, that you should be in touch with that committee. I think still stands that, I think a working relationship with the decision makers at the school district and the towns would be really beneficial.
And I think a great way, again, to do that is attend the school board meeting. You can hear the presentation, and then you can also zoom into their meetings that they have, too, which are on that work group and subcommittees. I'm just repeating myself. Page.
Steve and Ben looped into this as well. I mean, I've seen Steve Rosenberg, I've seen his post recently. As our two-town reps. So where are they in this process? Or
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the current members of that subcommittee represent Warren, Waterbury, and Mayfield.
The current members of the Building Use and Visioning Committee, I think I can list them. Cindy Setting, who I believe is Duxbury, JB Waitsfield, yes, thank you. Ashley Woods is in Warren, and there was a Moretown member.
I think that was Ben.
Ben Clark.
There's not a current Moretown rep on that subcommittee.
And then my other question would be is how do we, because I remember when we were going through this with the last discussion about closing Moretown School, which wasn't that long ago. I think that was 2020 or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah, 2020.
is keeping people in the loop, not just to go into a meeting, to how we keep communication open. I was frustrated back in 2020 because there was so much information. It was hard to decipher it all or even just get it presented to people. I'm wondering this time around how that can be accomplished.
I think something that I'm thinking about, Don, is like, and when I was on that bigger board, I remember this kind of almost happening to me. I think I did a pretty good job resisting it, but sometimes I think it has a lot to do with like training from the Vermont School Boards Association that the board turns into a single entity, or there's a lot of pressure to become a unified voice. And then sometimes what happens there, and this is just my opinion of what's going on, sometimes they turn into this single voice that then works for the school district rather than the other way around, right? The board members are elected officials who are supposed to work for us, who actually, they are the boss of the superintendent and the other people in the school district. And that, I see this a little bit getting reversed in my opinion. And so one of the communication strategies I'm going to try with our representatives is to remind them of that actually they are our representatives to the school district. They are not the school district representatives back to us. And that's a really, really important distinction that I hope we can communicate with our representatives.
Yep.
I have a lot to say about this, but I'll try to keep it really short. I can't go on Wednesday, but we do plan on going on the 24th. I'm totally against closing the Moretown school. And I've looked all through that document, pretty much all through that document so far. And I would like to, I'll watch are they gonna record the meeting on Wednesday?
I was thinking, yeah, they
So I can watch that to really get the whole thing, but when I go through it, it looks like it's being done by an architect who's looking for work. That's kind of how I see right off, is it's being, their consultant is right from the get-go, we need to build something. So I see kind of a bias in the whole process there. And then the whole thing is about dollar cost savings. And it looks like there were a lot of assumptions made that all go back to having to get dollar cost savings. There's a little bit in there about educational benefits, but we can get educational benefits without actually spending more money. So it's all about cost. The assumptions were all related to cost, and there was nothing in there about the actual cost, intangible costs to our communities by closing our elementary school. So I would encourage people to look at really both sides of that coin. What are the dollar costs? Absolutely. But what are the actual costs to our community welfare? And I don't think the school board seems to be looking at that at all. You know, when you look at their like 15 options that they had, the no option keeps the Moretown school open. I think there was one other option that kept the Moretown school open. So when you have there was an assumption right from the beginning. To me, they should have had an assumption right from the beginning to have plans for how are we going to do this without eliminating our community schools that people really want to keep. And that was just not on the board at all right from the beginning. So now, kind of in relation to what you're saying, is it's just sort of the snowball effect of the school board and reps just kind of running with
For what was said though.
with assumptions that were limited. And based on actually a state hierarchy that's got assumptions that are limited. Just all cost, dollar cost, and not people cost. And we have to really look at that.
I think that's a great question that you can write into the board, because if you can't be there, I think what I'm just trying to encourage is everyone to communicate your concerns, to ask these questions, to get more information, so it doesn't feel like this has been done to you or that you were left out. Like, be a part of the process. You asked some great questions that I wouldn't have thought of. I think that Truex Cullens is the architectural firm that they have consulted with. I am not a member on this work group. I just want to be clear. I'm just like a concerned citizen for our students, and I've had a hard time not finding this information, but just digesting everything that's happening, why they're doing what they're doing, and then what's happening at the state level as well, and trying to have accessibility to that information. So I feel everybody when you say like it's hard to know or find all this stuff. So I'm just trying to maybe rally all of us to kind of figure this out together, so how we can better understand, so we can give a voice to not only our communities. I know this is primarily about communities, but also our kids. And I do think they are more than just schools, they are community centers. And that's important. but I also respect everybody else's thoughts and opinions too when I say
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate you doing this and pointing it out, so it's like, what I'm trying to add in there is, don't just look at what the state is giving you, don't look at just what the school board's looking at, go beyond that, do some research about what's happened in other places, and what are other people thinking, and think about beyond the dollars. Because in the long run, it might not be worth it
It's a good point.
for dollars. So just look beyond what people are throwing at you.
Good. Well, I thank you, Aaron, for coming in and bringing this up. We have seen it, I guess you have to have done. And as a select board, I'll ask the rest of the members here to continue to engage and watch what's going on. If you can attend the meeting on Wednesday, please do, or on the 24th. And as a select board, we'll work towards a statement. I think we need to get some more information. I need to talk to some people and work on some things.
I can send you guys just like a document of like their stuff that comes right from Harwood, just what some other people in the community, like maybe Phillips, have put together, and just what I've found is to be super helpful, because I'm saying things like that I've seen from the meeting.
What you can do, send it to Sasha, and Sasha can consolidate things and send this out.
Great. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
One more question or comment?
Yeah, I also.
Two short comments, along the lines of people cost and community cost. I think during this last budget vote, what the district was highlighting and showcasing on their budget page was that Moretown is a top 10 elementary school in the entire state. That's something to really be proud of. And we have eco classrooms back here that no other school in this district has. It's really special, our eco program. And then just the broader village center, I'm a Moretown parent, I'm on the PTO, I'm friends of the library, capital campaign committee for town hall, and I really care about the vibrancy of this town center. And I think without that, a bustling school, that's really at risk.
So I'd like to make a suggestion that maybe, because that's what I felt like in the last go around with this, that there was big gaps in time as we marched through that in 2020. But, maybe we regroup here, for our meeting like on April 21st, just for, a little 15-minute update or something to see what people have found out or what they're. We could ask our two reps to be here, Steve and Ben, and, give everybody a chance to maybe watch meetings or read more information, and then we can exchange some thoughts, instead of all of a sudden it's June or July and it's out of the loop.
All right, so Sasha's going to put that on the 21st, you asked now?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it's the 17th now, and we've got another.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Our first meeting now, next is the 7th, and so the next one will be the 21st.
I should plenty of time for things to
Yeah,
happen.
we might even be seeing daffodils by then.
Very good. All right, so if there's nothing else on that.
I think there's just a lot going on at Harwood that the school board should be looking into. I mean, having a kid go to Moretown and the month and a half she was at Moretown, the amount of time the faculty spent meeting with me, getting her transferred out of her school to Moretown, and just bringing her in, and the education she received there was fabulous. To transitioning to Harwood, where you maybe get a meeting. As a Harwood graduate, the education now is extremely subpar. When you have a freshman in high school who cannot talk to you about basic wars, Revolutionary, Civil, World War I, World War II, has no idea about any of them or context in them, is just amazingly appalling to me when you email staff and do not hear back from them for months on end about meetings that are supposed to be scheduled. When you get notifications from the school saying that your student is not going to be able to go to school because of a failed culvert, to then try to call your student to let them know at home that, hey, you're not going to school today, no one answers the phone, you spend a half an hour trying to figure out where your child is to call the school, and the school can't tell you where your child is. Guess what? Your child's on the school bus, ready to go to school because you have a fabulous school bus driver who managed to work with 2 separate town staff to get the students out and to school, either on time or semi-on time. No communication with parents, no callback, no nothing. So I think, looking at cost per pupil, I think there are definitely places the board could look at savings that do not include closing schools, but just in providing better for students that are going there, all students going there.
Well, very good, Kelly. I think it's a nice jumping off point. But again, thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone's comments. It sounds like we'll get together here in about a month or so to talk about this issue again.
Yeah, I hope you'll all come back.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Good. You're welcome to stay. We've got some more meeting going on, so if you have something you want to have some fun.
Yeah. This is when it gets good, when everyone leaves. Yeah, everyone's gonna miss out. They don't even know.
Is everyone leaving?
Everyone saw us on the agenda, what should we stick for?
Well,
Yeah, I guess really, there's some reports, communication.
St. Patty's Day there.
Oh, nice screen. Hey, Chris, by the way, and I know I've seen Chris's emails, he's been handling the GMP citizens or whatever.
Yeah, we had a couple of power lines come down in the GMP right away in the town forest. And that was around, we had to piece it together. It was around February 18th, right before school break. So they accessed the land through Dave and Elda's property as well as ours. And there's a couple of disruptions, and I'm gonna do a site walk with them on Wednesday morning at 10:30. And they seem really open to listening and addressing any concerns. I mean, I can get into specifics, but they're not super material.
Yeah, no one here, but they're good, yeah, they've always been in the past, when you call somebody, they want to be good neighbors, so I think anything.
Yeah, I felt good about the call today, and I'm alone meeting with them Wednesday morning at 10:30, but I'm comfortable doing that. I'm not, yep.
Cool. Thank you, Chris, I appreciate you taking care of that.
Yeah.
Have a nice night.
Now, you guys are all good, all right? Didn't know whether there was something there that you needed addressed or not. Sasha, why don't you go ahead and we'll start with reports on you or with you.
I have a request from Jim O'Neill to be reappointed to the DRB.
So moved.
Second.
And then here, all in favor of Jim O'Neill back to the DRB?
Aye.
Aye.
The email about the church signs. We talked to Ray about that.
Oh, no, I did not.
Sure. Which one was that?
They want to know if they can have church signs over here.
Did we get that email or I don't remember seeing
I thought
that.
he forwarded it.
I thought I had that, but right after. Yeah. Hi there, nice seeing you today. Put your feet up and relax a bit. Let me see, I think I ran this by you before and went nowhere with it, but can you send me the right direction to find out what the church has to do with to have parking for church-only signs? So that is, who's that? Mary Murphy that's looking for that. So I'll send it. I think I just commented on there.
Would that be just on Sunday or all the time?
Yeah, well, Ray and her spoke, because Ray did answer her back and said that he had something, so I waited until I talked to Ray and just find out what he said to her. But it had been addressed at one point, but nothing has been done with it, I don't know. But yeah, we can't have, parking for church only during the week, I wouldn't think. I mean, that's.
Right.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, the
the
parking
school.
lot
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's in your, is it some, is it in a document or something?
That's what I'm wondering. Restriction on that.
I don't think there is, because when we, were looking to get this, then I think we were looking to see if we had to have them sign off on the parking lot, we asked that. So Ray will know what it is, yeah.
They just have the church, that's it.
That's just the truth, right? But Ray knows what that is, we'll ask him and have him follow up on that. If we have to get the signs for him, that's fine.
Dawn, you were asking about the water fountain. Do you remember when it?
Oh, this one right over
Yeah.
here.
Do you remember when it was running constantly a couple weeks, well, maybe like 2
Oh, I tell you, right.
Peak Mechanical came in and it looks like it needs to be fixed or they can just disassemble it. So I have 2 different quotes for that. One's $900, one's almost $3,000.
This is for what, sorry?
The water fountain, you just.
Oh, the broken water fountain.
So I don't know if that's something you guys want to think about for now.
What do you and Sherilyn think about it? You're the ones that are in here.
Well, how much-
Maybe Carol, you guys are in here the most.
We use the water, crystal.
Yeah, so how much does that cost a year
A year.
to use the
I don't know.
water
I'll
service?
have to look at that.
Because if we didn't have that with the plastic bottles, we could just go back to using.
How's the town office? That's
Well, I think
Well, they recycle, it's a big 5-gallon thing.
Yeah, no, I know that, it gets refilled, but I mean, instead of having those bottles brought all the time, if we went back to.
Right, using that.
Well, what would you guys prefer? A lot of people don't like tap water these days either, so.
It's not really filtrated.
Right.
Yeah, well, we could put a filter on it.
On here.
I know they have so that would be my only input.
Yeah, no, I agree, right. You could do a water
Anyway, and my wife won't, God forbid, she won't drink tap water. I don't know why.
Just something to think about.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's find out how much that is.
Yeah, but we definitely want your input too, Sasha. References for you and Cheryl and Carol, what, you know.
Well, I guess I can tell you what the
This is on a well, right? The town hall, town office on a well. The school?
School.
Kids can drink it.
I wonder what the water test. It'd be interesting to see what they, I'm sure they test the water if they're required.
Yeah, they're required to. Wait, so okay, so it's $3,000 to replace it.
It's one scenario of replacing it.
Okay.
The other one is 900.
900 to fix it.
To fix
To
it.
fix it.
Okay.
And it's X amount a month for the bottle of the water. So we'll find out what that is. The rock.
Yep. I had somebody from Facein that works with Facein a lot, contact me about, they had some sound panels, some material left from sound panels from back from 2020. Some material left over, and I think that he was trying to get rid of them for very cheap or for free. Is that something you guys would be interested in to utilize in this room?
Do we have a study on that, or was it?
I know they helped in the big part of the office, but I don't know if it was something you guys still thought was an issue in here. The echo.
It's not too bad. I don't know what you want to.
I don't know how we put it in.
I think the blinds might help.
Blinds do
I
help
think
a lot.
I've noticed the difference with the blinds up.
Yeah. Wasn't bad enough. I think we're probably all right. Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you, thank them for reaching out. It's nice gesture.
The meeting for Bridge 42 is for April 9th at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, that was
Wondering if there's gonna be able to be more than 3 select board members, do I need to warn it?
You should, yeah.
Okay. And do you want me to be there to take minutes?
No, it's one of the board members can do that.
Okay.
What time is that on April 9th?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yep.
And it's right over there.
At the bridge, and the 2 residents will be there.
Okay.
So if it's a rainy day, do you want to be able to, what day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday. So I believe the library's closed on Wednesday not open Wednesday afternoon, so I'll bring a key with me in case we have to go inside if it's raining.
Yeah,
We don't get wet, but you don't want to, we won't be able to get the meeting done if we're all standing in pouring rain, so.
Good idea.
Is that the bridge, the one near the town?
Right.
Yeah, so I'll make,
Yeah, the normal.
I might need a reminder, but I'll bring a key with me.
I had a question on the contract for the town of Duxbury. It's been $7,000 for the last few years. I'm wondering, would you guys be okay with me upping that amount?
Can you explain the contract a little bit for the
It's
rest?
for the fire department. It's just contracting out our services to Duxbury.
You should probably check with Stefan and consult with him. And I'm sure that with that 7,000, there was some kind of a formula that we've come up with, or there should be, just like the other towns have done with us. And I would say it's probably appropriate to up it, but make sure you look, we need to have, other than just, well, we want to up it.
Justification.
There needs to be some justification how we've done that, please.
Wait, just go back, the Bridge 42 meeting, that's the Lover's Lane Bridge, right?
No, the
No.
bridge by the town.
The Fletcher, okay. Yeah.
All right, I have the Mad River Valley Ambulance Service MOU, they did change that.
Okay, so we can sign that
Yeah.
up.
I have the Montpelier MOU for the ambulance as well. I have a stack of overloads and the annual financial plan for AOT. That's all set and signed. And the last thing, I need to have discussion on who's going to replace John's part of the LEMP, the local emergency management plan. He was on a lot of things for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's about the time to submit it to the state annually.
So why don't, if we can, if the board members send out something on that, so like Mike and Robin can take a look, or Callie, and see if that's anything that they have interest to do. You can see there's quite a bit of stuff there.
That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Sasha. Robin, how about yourself? You got anything for us tonight?
No, I do not have anything for tonight.
Ms. Callie?
We checked out Lynch Hill where they've been doing a bunch of logging this weekend, and they should probably come back in the spring and do some work. It's not as bad as it was left last year, but it's not in great shape. So in the spring, once it's thawed out, there's still a lot of ice
Yeah.
pack up there, but there's a lot of,
We'll just send Martin back up there.
yeah, there's a lot of tree branches.
Talks to them a bit, so you can, like, you don't have any, you don't work with those guys over there, or
No, I mean, I used to though, so I mean, I can give you,
if there's something.
I mean, Martin's got Jeff's contact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it looks a lot better than it did last year. Last year it was really bad, but they've got some water bars that need to be.
Yeah, well, they're always usually good about coming back and doing that stuff.
And they didn't do a fabulous job last year, so
Well, you know, you're over there, so,
we're up there a lot.
you need to, sound that alarm or whatever, make sure they're doing what they need to do.
Yeah. Still a bunch of culverts and cement blocks, so I don't know what they're doing with that. We haven't heard anything from Ray about doing that culvert on Jonesbrook Road.
Yeah.
But that stuff pretty soon is gonna need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and those are, I didn't reach out to you, did you ever reach out to me?
The last thing was something in January.
Well, they came and moved the tractors, but that was all they did.
Yeah, but they've got stacks of cement blocks and broken culverts and a dirt pile, and there's a bunch of stuff there that.
That's right near you, if I tell them
It's
Jonesbrook.
on our, it's on our property side.
Can't be culvert, I guess, would be a good name for it.
Can't be called.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah, and I think, so Ray did reach out to Sean, and I guess Avery said that Sean had said it was okay. And I think
There's a little miscommunication
there's a
there.
little, I mean, Sean's not opposed to it, but it's been sitting there all winter and there's a lot of
That's
stuff
enough,
there.
yeah.
And I mean, if they're gonna be doing work in that culvert, that's fine, but
Yeah.
given that the upper field was used a lot by Casella, our upper field, and did not get returned to how it should be.
And I'm assuming you're not installing those culverts, right? Because
Well, some of them aren't in bad shape, but I don't know what they're doing with them, but that's gonna be I think, a box culvert.
Box culvert, I think.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out why those are even there and why they're all compromised culverts. So I was like, God, I hope they're not going to install those because they're all
Not one of them
holes in
is.
the middle of them and
That's probably why they're still left there, because no one wants to deal with them.
take them away. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll get on that then.
Where were we at with Eric and his permit?
I think, like I said, last time I spoke to you, or like our last meeting, I told you, and Martin was gonna speak to him, I haven't spoken to Martin since then. I was,
Okay.
in fact, coming here, I thought I saw Eric, I was gonna try to stop him.
Yeah, I think I saw Eric and Stefan down there too.
But that is top of mind for certainly me and Martin, it has been, and it needs to be for Eric too, because he needs to have that to keep employed.
I thought I had something else too. No, I think that's it.
Okay, think of it.
I think that's it.
That's right. Mike, how you doing down there? Anything new for us?
I'm good. I don't think I have anything.
And Don.
Well, it's now that we're starting another season, so to speak, of the select board, right? It's the beginning of another year.
Another season.
So, I'm gonna try to kick in a little bit of focus for some of this, building maintenance and a plan for what we can do this year, and, this is gonna be an ongoing thing. So, just touching base quickly, so if you haven't had a chance to look at this, I met with someone from Du Bois and King to, because we, in the past, I don't know if it was around COVID or during COVID, I met with a couple of different contractors at the town garage, and of course with everybody giving me a different opinion. So I think, as you'll see in the proposal, I was only gonna get to the first 2 pages, the rest of the rates and all that, but as you'll read, probably the best thing we can do and get from them is like an assessment. We can go with an assessment first, as you'll see. It's, $1,500 for them to come in and do a study of the building and a study of the systems and review what needs to be done, and then, report to me or us or whatever, and
Like essentially
then we can
spec
go.
a system.
Well, no, then that would be the next phase, would be that they would do a
design
design narrative so that we could then put it out to bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I personally, I think the assessment stage would be money well spent. We do have some money carried for the town garage to, for maintenance, and this is kind of some of the other repair work that needs to be done there can't really be essentially started until we sort of look at the whole overall. There's some little trim here and there around some doors we can fix, but this I think would be a good kickoff for that building. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept at least, the first part of this proposal for an assessment from Du Bois and King, and then we go from there.
I think it's a great idea. Just let me get on the record for saying that. I want to do this. Do we need to put this proposal out for bid though?
Well,
and I know that's a PIA, but it's our policy.
No, I understand. I don't know what other.
Is there a monetary level to have to put something out to bid, or? Because like a lot of towns have, I'm working for Facein, and they have a monetary level. If it's over that, then they have to put it on RFP. And if it's below that, they don't have to.
If we don't have that policy, it certainly seems like a good policy.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm not,
I'm just
sussing it out.
Because $1,500, I mean, you're not gonna get much better for someone to come in and.
No, I think, I was meeting with him on the town hall, and he came over, he took a look at it, we talked about all the different stuff. I went over what we've gotten for some ideas from some other contractors, and then he said, okay, let us think about it, and he came back and said, let us, this would, I think would be your best option, to just really get it all nailed down. I mean, whether we would even have to, then we could probably bid the design, we could probably go then do an RFP for
Any kind of work that would need to be done.
Yeah,
certainly.
but that's for sure, you'd get a couple of different contractors to bid the job.
And maybe the merit, maybe the design, but,
well, something to think about, I mean, if we have to decide tonight.
there's no sense in kicking stuff down the road, let's make a decision one way or another, because if we're gonna get more.
I don't know where I suppose I could
That's
read
what I'm
out
saying.
to some other engineers, I don't know if I could find someone who would come in to just do the assessment, piece.
Right, well, I guess when we finish, I'm willing, I asked the question and I put it out there as far as we do know and understand our policies. However, as we look at this, it makes sense that we could probably go ahead and justify moving ahead on this proposal without additional proposals for a couple of different reasons. One, how are you gonna we can't find anyone to do any work, much less a $1,500 job to do assessment on a building. And we've worked with Du Bois and King numerous times, and they've treated us fairly in the past. So if you guys want to go ahead and do this, I'm not going to stop us, and would certainly move ahead. I just wanted to make sure that we were all comfortable with that, because we do have, in case someone asked, or an auditor, but I could look an auditor in the face and say, look, this is just kind of what we just talked about.
Yeah,
so
I would agree to that, do we have to?
So Don did make a motion. Is there a second on that?
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
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 Okay, so
Okay.
I'll send them an email and, I have something here I could sign. I can sign it.
One of us needs to sign it. But you're a signer.
Yeah, he's a signer.
He's a signer. Well, we can all sign, maybe.
Okay. All right, so that's that building. Okay.
Oh, wait, I had something, but it's not unrelated, so I'll wait till you're done. Something that popped in my head.
All right, so now, the fire station. So there's various items of work that need to be done. So one question is, and I haven't had a chance to research, the trees, if you're looking at the fire station, the trees on the left side, I believe Stefan said they're on town property. Who could verify that? Where there's cedars there, or I don't know.
There'd be a Mylar in here. And that, but then, whether.
Because those really badly need to be trimmed, and I was gonna talk to the town forester now. But I do have a couple, Jim O'Neill and a few other folks in Moretown would be glad, once we make sure they're Moretown trees that's on our property, they would go in and they could do some trimming.
I mean, I can check there, but then just check with Deb. She's the landowner right next door, right?
I guess, I don't know.
So she'd be probably happy to have them trimmed up.
Yeah, well, they're more, I don't know if she wants them trimmed on her side, but the side on the fire station, growing towards the fire station, it's causing the damage to the building, to the siding. All right, so we'll ask that properly. Okay, fine.
No, we'll first look at our mileage to make sure, and then just give her a
oh yeah, I don't want to just show up with Jim and Chris Butch and someone else, and
sounds like Mike's on that.
All right, and then and maybe Mike will take a look at it, the best way to trim them back. But instead of I have some volunteers to do that.
Yeah. And then,
so the next phase would be to concentrate on some of the outside work that needs to be done. So I'm going to try to establish a list. I've talked to one contractor who's done work for us already in the town. And so the next time hopefully at the next meeting, or the one after that, we can have some sense of the items that need to be done. One is looking at some gutters, because it's causing water damage to the base of the building. So Okay, so that's the fire station,
Okay.
town hall. And so that's that item. Those are what we're doing there, just trying to kick that along. Then I was wondering, do we have any, in a sense of any goals we have for 2025 in terms of, I know sidewalks are kind of on our radar for both here in the village and North Moretown. Not that North Moretown's gonna start this year, but it'd be nice to carry on.
Well, I think our FEMA stuff, I mean, that's kind of.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question to you, is have we had any updates on FEMA stuff? No.
Not yet.
Raised a lot of
And we're supposed to get the interest payment like this month, right?
By the end of the month is
Yeah.
what they were saying.
For 2024 or 2023?
That was the 2023.
It's 2023, yeah.
I thought that was August.
No, that was an additional one. We're supposed to get, I have the papers here somewhere. I got it back to here. Yeah, this was $1,765,584.28. March. Yeah,
We still haven't seen it.
we have not seen that yet.
Sure.
The state hasn't
And
set
not
on
a
any
peep about
payments.
2024, right?
Yeah, what's
In
that?
the last
Oh, sorry.
2
No, that's
weeks,
good,
I haven't seen anything from
Not
the
a
state.
word about 2024.
Not
Just radio silence on that one, right?
Yeah, the state, until the feds complete their payments, the state won't do anything, so. Anyways.
I just lost my train of thought, sorry. Oh, on the, I'm sure everybody here wants to go to another meeting. I wish I had said it when all these people were here. On 3/26 at 6 o'clock at the Waitsfield School, at least it'll be on TV, is a public meeting on the shared use path that's from Warren to Moretown, Middlesex. There'll be another presentation and an update on what's happening with that. So, if you can have a chance and you're in the neighborhood, you know. And then just one other item is that the gentleman tonight brought up about the road that, I can't remember the name of the road that ran back there. They've half fixed that.
There's been,
Didn't they
a
fix
culvert
it?
put in,
Yeah.
and it was cleaned out, we cleaned out, or actually one of the Avery cleaned out behind there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we should do
A little follow-up, because I think Craig Eilers told me that he thinks that there's still, it's still working problem.
Yeah, I think there's.
So it's like they ended up hiring someone to replace the culvert.
Yeah, because it's a private road.
Do we know what size culvert they put in, or?
It was appropriate. We, at the time, did check with Martin, to make sure it was.
So it's like 1 3-footer or something.
Yeah, I can't remember, Mike, to be honest.
Yeah.
What it was. It's really bigger than what it was, but, there's some other issues, I think, up there that need to be, looked at. But, Don's in it.
Yeah, I think so.
So, not a lot, different more here. Oh, Mike, I'm
Yeah, so it popped in my head. So does anyone know where we're at with the loader? Right, because they did the fuel system and then the bucket, they burned a hole in the bucket. Not Rod's fault, just right. But and then they needed pins and bushings. And then I talked to Martin shortly after that, but they didn't have the price for anything yet. And that that's been a month or two. I don't know how long now. And so
Yeah, I talked to him probably after that, when I was talking to him about Eric and that, 3 weeks ago maybe, and he's kind of gave me the same story. He got busy.
Yeah.
He got dropped, but that's something that he was going to be following up on.
Yeah, because I do get, it's only whatever, you extrapolate, the loader only gets used 250 or 270 hours a year, but then they use it every day in the winter basically.
Yeah.
Right, so it's integral, but then in the summer it just sits.
Yeah, there's a little bit of aggregate that is moving.
Right. There's
Oh, they work out on the roads.
right. You know what I mean, but like, yeah, it gets most of its hours in the winter time.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. Because I was just talking with Martin about it, and right, he was He was
I think it's, at this point, like as I, 2 weeks ago when it wasn't, the sky is falling at that point, whether it was, well, we'll get through with it.
Right.
We'll work on it.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll make sure that they're getting the pricing on that. I think I would like to maybe invest in it. We'll see what they come up with, but, you know, it's still, I think, would we say 5,000 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the engines, and plus after putting in 10 grand into it, I hate to, you know, just ship it down the road for someone else.
Right.
Put a few thousand into it, and then, but we'll see. You know, we'll go there.
I will just jump back for 1 other second about building maintenance. So, am I good with 2 prices on most of the stuff, like the the washing of the buildings? So
Yeah,
2
the thing
different
is-
guys for that, right?
Try to send it out for free. I mean, if you can. But
Yeah,
if you can only
okay.
get a couple, that's good. I mean, some of them you may only get one.
Yeah,
But
and
we're
then,
gonna have evidence that we made
yeah,
the
you
effort.
tried. And now everybody's good with, we're gonna get rid of the center railing and fix with 2 pieces. And
push chalk in there after select board.
Yeah, we'll do that.
It's like great coffee.
Yeah, we're gonna, right, we'll do it ourselves, right? Okay.
Very good. All right, so still
We'll never look down again when we walk up into the
There's-
office.
Put a little dirt in mud. It's not gonna hurt it. Jesus stuff. Ray sent us.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, listen, one other thing we gotta talk about, and everybody should look at it, you even tripped the last time.
Oh,
Coming out,
yes.
The sidewalk is popped up out there, and I don't know, oh my, I don't know what to do with that, but
Yeah, no, that one we.
that needs to be looked at.
Oh, is that from when they just replaced it?
No, it's
Previously, now it's heaved up. Oh, okay.
And there's
So-
like a 2-inch little lip there now.
So cement people are going to be back this year because there is a little lip
Right.
somewhere. I haven't seen it, but I can see the email. So they're going to be coming back. We have this little area here. I don't know if you've seen the pothole we already have. So that needs to be addressed.
Oh, okay.
Wait, the
So-
pavement?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but they weren't the same sidewalk contractor, right?
No, but we have, I'm not saying that they're going to be responsible for doing that, but we're going to have a sidewalk contractor here. So we'll need to fix that.
So maybe they can fix it, take a look at it, okay?
Because you can't have,
You can't have someone trip there.
I almost sued the town.
You almost lost it, you tripped for sure. Okay,
Alright.
I'll shut up now.
Yeah, there we go. All right, can I go? All right.
Sorry, I apologize.
So we did get you may have seen, I don't know if it was an email, but Ray has decided to withdraw his purchase agreement with the town or wanting to buy that piece of property up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's decided he doesn't want it.
No, separate one, but yeah.
I guess that's it. I guess we just have a few things here to sign.
Approved last week.
Approved.
ATVs.
Oh, down below.
Yeah, for old business. I think probably the best way to go about that piece is doing kind of what we did with the class for highway committee, is to have a separate committee start it, to go through, do the research,
I think that's a good idea.
have people in there from both sides so that we get more feedback, more community engagement.
Well, you know what? So you guys are going to meet as a Class 4 Trail Committee. You should ask them if they would consider taking that as the next project. And there is some diversity on that because I know the sergeants are very against ATV. There's people that are very for it on that committee.
And I know there are other people in town who are for it, who,
there's
that I've
plenty.
reached out to in the last couple weeks, who'd be more than willing to.
Yeah, I think you'll find, but it's good to get a good balance of people who, so you get the different opinions on it, so it's just not, you know, one way
Exactly. Yeah,
or the other. So
that's why I
that's a
was
very good
thinking that
idea.
way.
So I think that I would first
Raise
raise it to that committee there.
They know what the other volunteers. Deb's gonna be
She'll be
Bob
right on.
and Deb are definitely.
Someone will be right on that.
There was,
Well,
just,
that's fine, there's
Yeah,
one reason
no.
we bought a Jeep.
Yeah.
just as an FYI, there was an interesting read in Vermont Digger about
sent it.
ATVs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been reading all of
Okay,
them.
all right.
Yeah, no, it was good, and a lot of the feedback from VASA that was in that article was feedback that I had gotten when I talked to them. God, it must have been what, 4 years ago at this point.
Wow.
So a lot of it was the same feedback that he had said. So
Good, that's good. Yeah, and I'm sorry, is there any other stuff on ATVs? I think I had done ATVs, old business. Yeah, hello, Don, you've got the garage, but that's.
He's got that as part of the proposal. there.
Yeah, so that's good. What about anything new? Is there anything to Don's point earlier, or mine for Don, I guess Don brought it up. If there's any projects or anything that you guys want to work on, you think of priorities that we should focus on? You'd see, at our next meeting, or send an email so we can put it on the agenda and start talking about it. Something, Mike, you're new on the board, maybe there's something that you talk about with people that, hey, we should address this, things like that, or anything like that. Or Robin, you as well, or everyone for that matter, but just make sure if there's other priorities. My priority is just to kind of push through or work with FEMA stuff. And try to make that happen. But anyways, so now we can go ahead if we have stuff to sign.
Did you do minutes?
Yeah, we still haven't done minutes. So I would make a motion to approve the minutes for March 3rd.
second.
2025. Kelly seconded. Any changes there? All in favor, vote aye.
Okay.
Aye. And I did want to make a comment too. I guess I did kind of when Travis did, but again, great job with the town meeting committee, everyone, and make that work. I think it was some good change and good energy there, and just, it wasn't perfect. We did have a few things that we could work on, but all in all, great job.
Like I mentioned, we're gonna meet again shortly and, invite some other folks in too to come and do some more brainstorming. People did tell me different things that they thought could work, so we'll come back to the select board. But I think actually just for something to just pat yourself all of us on the back, of everybody who attended or whatever, is if you think about it, you just were in a historical moment because town meeting has a long history in Moretown. And now we just changed it to a 4 o'clock, the format we just changed it to. And maybe that'll stay like that going forward. And, for X amount of years, 20 or 25 years or whatever, it'll be another way that the town comes together.
Rebirth, for sure.
Yeah, it was fabulous, the amount of people that were there, and I think
engaging, too.
Yeah, and the big piece kind of goes back to school. We had this conversation when we were talking about town meeting at home, and our child goes, "What is town meeting? What do you do? What is a floor vote?"
Yeah, there you go.
And so it's a lot of those discussions of what this is a part of Vermont history, and explaining it, and just going into town meeting and seeing the amount of people that actually walked in and just kept flowing in over the course of the meeting.
Mike, your kids were there. There were a number of kids.
Yeah.
Our kids there.
Yeah, it was good to see. I remember I grew up in the Northeast Kingdom, and my mother was the treasurer and the town clerk, and I used to love to go to the meeting, to town meetings, go and do that. So yeah, it's good for kids, and that's how you learn, and maybe that's how you end up here doing this, because you see it happening or whatever, and you want to participate. So
And my mom used to bring me too. We used to go.
I think the pre-town meeting worked as well.
Yeah, I think as well. I do.
Yeah.
It was nice to have it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and
I
digest
think
it all.
someone had mentioned to me, and I think you had talked about it, is I know in other towns they have it in January.
So they have your say day.
Right.
We're gonna look into that a little bit. Waterbury and Duxbury is doing that. Yeah, that's on the list to find out some more information.
And the only thing that does to us as a board, it pushes us to make sure that your stuff is done,
Right.
sooner than later. But we can probably accommodate that too. So if there's nothing else, let's go ahead and sign off on things. Let's get it going.
Oh, I will probably be missing the April 7th meeting. That's a Monday, and our dog finally passed away, so my wife and I are gonna take some very well-deserved vacation.
Good for you. Sorry about this.
Yeah, that's the road.
Oh, God. Okay. I go there.
But Lise doesn't drive.
I can go there.
Lise doesn't drive though. Shows in Shores Park at the end on,
Oh, we do that? No, I just did that today. I've already signed that, so I've already signed that. What's the? I gotta borrow one.
Miss
This is this you. That one you.
I mean, Robin doesn't read the names, he just counts them because it's easier to count than to try to read the names.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I know yours. But now I got-
Things are
I get it.
signed.
Chris Brown, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get down with that. I'm not getting Chris Brown out of that. I don't know.
It's actually
Kind of like hieroglyphics. Mountain tree, oh.
No filter.
17.
So, while I had our fabulous helper in Berlin come
Okay, we
in,
got that one done.
we were
This one's
talking
still
about
missing you, Don, I
signing
think. Don,
warrants.
actually, that's missing all three of you guys.
That's missing you.
Oh,
No, I got this one, but not Callie. Oh, no, that one's Tom and Mike. Do this all in one circle.
Make sure Mike gets stuff in too. Go ahead, Sally.
so, as long as they're,
Stay within the lines.
I get that one, I get that one, did you get that one?
I thought I did, no, I guess I don't know. What are these?
Yeah, you know what?
That's you too.
Don, Callie, that one was in Utah.
So as long as there's a quorum on there, I can sign payroll warrants with Sean on there, because as long as there's a quorum, it doesn't matter if he's on there. If there is not enough people at the table and I'm there, as long as the board understands and okays it, then it's okay.
It's understood and okay by this board. For sure. You're signing a $200 check for your husband who helped us out to fix some. All right.
Because we were just going through signings with our auditor, so I was asked her.
All right, so this. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for participating tonight. Thank you, daughter Mike.
For her patience.
Thank you for your patience coming tonight. There'll be a quiz when you get home on what you learned.
Girl's hungry. Take her home. Get her fed.
All right,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Everyone, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.